think I know what you're looking for. For the perfect Adirondack chair. It must be super ergonomic, perfectly handcrafted, without any compromises. Your personal throne. And in this case, you should continue watching, because I will show you how to build these chairs out of white oak. Professionally handcrafted in every detail. Without a single screw, just using invisible dowel connections for better durability and a cleaner appearance. And if you are interested, keep on watching. Hello and welcome to part 3 of the build of the perfect Adirondack chair. In this video we will show you how to produce and assemble the back slats and the seat slats to the frame as well as the armrests. Last step is finishing the surface and oiling. We are Mission Wood and walk you through this build. If you are questioning how did we come to this frame, you probably missed part 1 and 2. Please do not forget to watch them later, but for now I would propose to stay with me here in part 3. You will find the link below to part 1 and 2 in the description, and they are not running away. We will start with the boards again. The shape of the back and the seat slats is hidden in there. And the next task is to extract their shape from the boards. We will start with the back slats and that basic trapeze shape. Mark the 7 slats on the board with a reserve of 2 inches. The middle slat is the longest. Try to minimize waste, but care about direction of grain. The grain should run parallel to the length of the slats. I expedite the marking and the cutting. But if you are interested in some more tips and tricks on how to cut accurately with a track saw, please follow my next video, linked in the link list below in the description. It really helps in accuracy and speed. And that is what the 7 slats look like. The more outboard they are, the shorter they can be. Let's proceed with the marking and cutting of the round shape on their higher end. I show you how you can get a properly aligned round shape on all of the 7 slats. Lay out the slats on the table or on the ground if the table is too small. I like to have a better top view and therefore prefer the ground with some cardboard as protection for the wood. Position the slats next to each other and use the cord and pencil method to mark the radius of all slats at the same time. I will again expedite the cutting. And that is what the slats look like now. Oops. What happened here? The middle slat is not round and still has a lot of overlength too. And that is for a reason. You probably realized that I personalized the middle slat with the initials of Mission Wood, or so, with a W. Like that, the chair really becomes a unique personal throne for you or for whomever you dedicated your work to. And if you put that much work into it, why not really personalizing it and really making it your own? For the W, I have a template. I mark and cut out the basic shape with a jigsaw and wood carve the edges and the surface with a knife. Like that, the part and only the W of it receives a rough and wild appearance, while the rest of the chair is the finest and smoothest furniture you can achieve with white oak. I personally like that contrast. So let us start with the cutout of the W. That is what the back slats look like after carving the initials, edge routing and sanding to a condition ready for assembly. The carved initials will be the cherry on the cake of the Adirondack chair, but it probably looks easier than it actually is. Watch your hands. Oak is not a really good choice when it comes to carving. It's far too hard, but it's okay if it's not much more than carving this little piece. Let us proceed with putting the slats on the frame. I start with the middle slat exactly positioned in the middle of the two back frames. When marking, I position two dowel holes with enough clearance to either of the side on the back frames. When preparing the pin dowel connection, we need to make sure that the slat and the frame have a clearance and a gap less than 0.5 millimeter. That requires a little bit of fine adjustment to the curved shape of the back frames. We proceed starting from the middle slat outboard with the rest of the 7 slats. Okay, that already starts to look and feels like a chair. The back slats are finished and properly on the frame. A good and strong glue connection requires a close fitment of the slats to the curved back frame. Take your time and go for a gap not greater than 0.5 millimeter. Next are the 11 seat slats. We again start with a board. Cutting, edge routing and sanding. Wait some seconds and you will see the prepared slats. So therefore, stay with me. Here are the ready to assemble seat slats. You know what comes next? The slats go on the frame with the dowel glue connection. So I will again expedite and show you one of the middle slats just before assembly. By the way, if you wonder why are there so many slats, that is because there's another chair in a similar stage waiting for completion. That is what the prepared and finished dowel glue connection looks like right before the assembly of the slat into the frame. Oh boy, that is perfect. Not perfect yet, but soon. The armrests and the braces need to come on the frame. They are prepared by edge routing and by sanding and still need to be fine adjusted to the frame for 100% match. And the dowel glue connection needs to be prepared. I will show you the prep parts just before the gluing. And that is what the preparation looks like. I use 6 dowel connections to the front and 3 to the back leg. That was the last part out of, guess how many? 32 parts that make a real good Adirondack chair. All woodwork is complete. It really went well and the chair looks better than only just nice. Well, we are close to the finishing line, but we are not there yet. The surface and the gaps need to be sealed. I'm using a hard wax oil for that. But before putting it on, I check the surface and do some final sanding where it is needed. Needed to do that. There are many wood oil products available. I would love to give you some tips about what I'm using, but I'm not really satisfied with my choice. At least I can tell you that I'm washing my hands after oiling with some frying oil before the soap. Hard, healthy and cholesterol free. And I'm using vent filters to apply the oil on the wood surface. That works really good. But if you have good experience with wood oil products, please share with us and add it to the comments below. Mission completed. I hope you enjoyed this video and found some inspiration for your own build. Maybe the one or the other trick that you did not know so far. And if you liked it, please give me a thumb up and maybe you'd like to subscribe too.